everyone. This is your host, Jana Rupnow, the Three Mixed Baby podcast, and I am live today because I am in my podcast studio, which is really a loft, about to interview the founder of the Donor Conception Network, Olivia Montucci. And I wanted to come on and talk to you about a couple things that are coming up on the podcast, specifically for people that are working on rebuilding trust after a betrayal. And the reason that's relevant to the topics that I introduce on this show is that I'm working also with donor conceived adults or adults that were conceived using a donor, but were kept in the dark about their conception because the field began in secrecy and doctors told their patients to keep this a secret, as well as other agencies that were involved in producing and distributing gametes. So when they find out through a DNA test as an adult, accidentally, and they find out that the parent that raised them, that they thought was their biological parent, is actually not their biological parent, it's a sense of betrayal and a sense of confusion. And the relationship can really break down, and there can be a real strain between the parent, adult child, so adult to adult relationship. And I'm going to be talking about three parts, at least, that are part of this process of breakdown and rebuilding. And the first is, how do we get through common defense mechanisms that get in the way of relationship closeness or relationship healing? And then the next one will be ways to apologize. So sometimes I'm sorry is not enough. There are different ways that we have to apologize to different people depending on their needs. So I'll go into that in an episode. And then finally, I'll be talking about how we rebuild trust and what analogy you can use in your life to think about when you are in a relationship where you're rebuilding trust. And so that I wanted to give you, just to set the stage for what's coming and give you something to tune into. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast, because if you do, then you get email notifications when it comes out. And because I'm not able to do this podcast weekly, honestly, I just fit it in when I can. Then you don't have to keep checking back on the platform or on social media. You can just get that email and be notified. So definitely subscribe, because I'll be doing episodes when I can throughout the summer. Some of them live like this, and some of them pre-recorded. So look for that episode with the founder of the Donor Conception Network to come out within the next 2 weeks, and look for more on this topic of rebuilding relationships after betrayal. Have a great week.